We're going to go back to Andi in Kentish Town. Now, you'll remember Andi had said, hello, Andi, that she overpaid service charge for about 21 years. The lawyers for the management agents have said she can only have a refund for the last 6 years, but not the 15 years before that. And she knew some law that would help her. Andi, go for it.
I say I knew some law. I did a bit of research. I wrote back to them and asked them about, I thought it was an issue of unjust enrichment. I don't believe the 6-year limitation period applies. Section 32(1)(c) of the Limitation Act 1980 defers the commencement of the limitation period to an action of relief from the consequence of the mistake until the plaintiff, me, discovers the mistake or could reasonably, diligently have discovered it.
Good for you.
Well, I don't know. For those reasons, I wrote back to them and said, I think, and obviously the last few years the service charge as it's increased has been significant. In the early years it was lower, but I feel that they do owe me that full amount plus interest. And I don't quite know how to pursue it because it's been nearly a year now since I raised it, and they're fobbing me off.
Yep. Now, I agree with you. Section 32 of the Limitation Act does indeed say that if the money's been paid over as the result of the mistake, the 6 years doesn't start running until you realise the mistake or should, using reasonable diligence, realise it. So the first question is, should you have realised this mistake earlier? What made you pay more than the amount in your lease?
I hadn't.
You hadn't noticed?
Right from the very beginning, very beginning, they gave me paperwork that showed me the percentage that it should be, and I had no reason to query that until some years later when I found out that people who had much bigger flats than me that were paying a great deal more money.
So I think you're right here. I think you will succeed in this. The practical thing to do, Andi, may be to strike a deal with them that for the next 5 years you only pay, I'm making up the numbers here, you'll have to work out the numbers, but only pay a third of what the service charge otherwise would have been.
Yes, I'm happy to come to some kind of arrangement, but I need them to.
But I agree with you on Section 30. I agree with you on Section 32. And if they won't agree, first of all, I suspect your lease will have a provision in it for mediation. Mm-hmm. In which case, invoke that, go to the mediator, get a ruling from the mediator. And if it doesn't, go to the county court and you want to bring a claim for the return of the money. And have you actually mentioned Section 32 to their lawyers?
Yes, I did.
How have they responded?
They responded by not talking to me for 5 months.
Because they know you know what you're talking about.
Well, I listen to your program every week, so I chased them. They'd been on holiday and various other things, but it's now it'll be a year in October that I first raised it.
That's too long. I'd raise the stake. How much money are we talking about, Andi?
Well, the 6 years is £6,000.
Wow! And the missing 19.
Well, the missing 10 years is going to be less than that, but it's not going to be less than much more than £5,000 or £6,000.
So it's not really worth getting a lawyer involved. But the good side is that if it's a small claim, then you're not at risk of legal costs. If you bring a claim in the small claims court, unless your lease says otherwise. You need to check the lease to see whether, if you bring a claim and lose, you have to indemnify the freeholder for your legal costs.
Right, okay.
All right. Andi, good luck.
Thank you. Does it make any difference that I own a share of the freehold of the property?
Not in the slightest. You're just suing yourself along with all the other freeholders.